start out with, and then I'm going to get at it. First, I think you may have seen my statement about the sentencing of Oleg Sentsov and Aleksandr Kolchenko. I just want to reiterate it here again. The United States strongly condemns today's sentencing of these two in a Russian military court, 20 and 10 years respectively, on groundless allegations, of plotting terrorist attacks and other subversive activities in Russian-occupied Crimea. This is a miscarriage of justice. Both Ukrainians were taken hostage on Ukrainian territory, transported to and imprisoned in Russia, and had Russian citizenship imposed on them against their wills. They've reported abuses by Russian authorities, who also restricted their access to lawyers, family, and others while in jail for more than a year. Mr. Sentsov and Mr. Kolchenko were targeted by authorities because of their opposition to Russia's attempted annexation of Crimea. The United States stands by those who are persecuted for exercising their rights to speak freely and engage in peaceful protest. We again call upon the Russian Federation to implement the commitments it made in signing the Minsk agreements by immediately releasing Mr. Sentsov, Mr. Kolchenko, Nadia Savchenko, and all other remaining hostages. On the Maldives, the United States is Go ahead, who's next? Yeah.
Can we go back for a minute to Ukraine and Russia?
Sure.
You had a pretty strong diplomatic language against the justice in Russia today for the Ukrainian filmmaker. It comes 1 week after a pretty strong statement also for this Estonian agent. Do you think that, I mean, is the U.S. prepared to follow these words by action in taking further diplomatic actions against Russia? And don't you see any impact on the conversation you have between Washington and Moscow on important topics, matters like Syria and Iran? Don't you see any impact
About our strong statements
Yes.
here? I mean, we state these positions. We are clear about them because they need to be stated clearly, and because our commitment to fair and equitable judicial processes, to human rights, to democracy, to the rule of law, is universal. And we're not afraid to say, to object, or to condemn, or to express our deep concern about these kinds of issues when they need to be expressed, regardless of what else may be going on in a bilateral relationship. Will the statement today affect how Russia behaves or acts or responds? I don't know. That wasn't part of the calculus. It needed to be said because of the way these two gentlemen and others are being treated inside and by the Russian Federation, and will continue to speak out when it needs to. There are many things that we don't agree with Russia on. Obviously, this is one of them. There are others too. There are other areas where we can and we have and we will continue to find opportunities to cooperate, such as on the Iran deal. And we hope on Syria moving forward. That is why Secretary Kerry has had so many discussions lately with Foreign Minister Lavrov about trying to find a way forward to reach a political transition. So so the short answer to your question is no. We're not worried necessarily by making these strong statements that they're going to have some sort of adverse effect. They need to be said on the face of them, and we're going to continue to do that. I found an answer. I finally found it.
What, on the lawsuit?